drill, I'm here with one of my high school athletes. I'm going to teach him how to front squat today. A couple reasons why I like the front squat. Number one, it has less compressive forces on the knees than the back squat. Though the back squat seems to be a lot easier for athletes to pick up, I do prefer the front squat for that reason. Especially at the high school level, kids are constantly growing, complaining of joint pains. A lot of these kids are playing numerous sports, numerous seasons. So I like to keep the forces less on the knees if I can. Second reason why I like the front squat. I use it as a progressive exercise towards the clean receives. If I can get these guys with good technique on their front squat, later down the road when we go to learn the cleans, their receives will be perfect. First thing I like to do before having these guys go under the bar and add weight, we're going to do body weight first. First I need to check their elbow positioning, so have them bring their hands up to their shoulders, make sure their humerus is parallel to the floor. Okay, so his positioning looks good. A lot of times guys will have their elbows come out, they need to come in. They have a hard time keeping their elbows up, or they tend to wing out. It's probably because they have tight lats and tight triceps. So far, he's doing pretty well with this positioning. From here, I then have them do one practice squat. One thing I tell these guys is, with the front squat, you're able to sit straight down versus straight back with the back squat. Go ahead, show me a few. Just gonna sit. One more. Pause at the bottom. As you can see, he's leaning way far forward on this one. His hips are way far back. Stand up, you can relax. This is very common with these high squat athletes. You can relax. These guys have only been exposed to back squatting much of the time, so their first instinct is to sit back like a back squat. That's number one. So we have to correct that. Go ahead, bring your elbows up. They stay there the whole time. Keep them in nice and tight. I'm going to have them sit straight down. I tell them to sit straight down. Do not bring the hips back first. Keep the chest up. Go ahead, give me 3. Good. Give me one more. Keep the chest up. Sit straight down. You can relax. With the front squat, the knees are allowed to cross the toes. A lot of times, athletes are afraid to bring forward because they're used to the back squat where they need to sit back and the knees need to stay behind the toes. They're allowed to come forward with the front squat. Because the weight is already centered, they do not need to sit back to adjust. Center of mass is already straight down in front of them. Once their positioning is good without the bar, the elbows are nice and high, humerus is parallel to the floor, and they've got the straight down. We call it the piston. Once that is good, I have them come up to the bar. First thing I have them do is walk straight into it. Okay? Shoulders are going to hit against the bar, and then I have them shoot their elbows through. Right to that same position they were in before. So the elbows are going to shoot through, they're going to pop the bar off the rack, and step back. Many of the athletes are going to try to gain mechanical advantage by spreading their feet wider. You need to make sure that their technique, the feet are under the hips, okay? Much different than the back squat. So it's going to feel a little different for them. They have a much narrower stance as we do with our clean pulls. A lot of times, toes are going every sort of direction. The toes need to be facing forward. Knees are in line with the toes. Feet are under the hips. And they're up nice and tall. Elbows stay high before we do anything. I'll check the humerus, make sure it's in line parallel to the floor. Chest up, feet are in proper alignment before we go into any squat. Okay, so now he's going to go ahead and step forward. Shoulders are going to go against the bar. Okay, pause. A lot of times, these athletes are going to want to really grip the bar. Very different from the back squat. They're not holding on to it. Much different than any of the other lifts as well. When he goes, it's going to be light in his fingertips, okay? The guys tend to really want to muscle the bar. It's going to be light in their fingertips. He's going to dip under a little bit further, use his shoulders to pop the bar off the rack. Go ahead, stand up, step back. Okay, he looks pretty good here. It's nice and light in his fingertips. The bar is resting on his shoulders. Elbows are nice and high. Humerus is parallel to the floor. You can bring his feet in just a little bit. Always check the feet. They're always going to be wider than they should. Toes are forward. Okay, from here, keeping his elbows nice and high, he's going to try to squat down. Give him 3. As you can see, he's having a little bit difficulty keeping those elbows high. Go ahead and try it again. This time, I want you to push your elbows up, push them through, keep pushing. Go ahead, keep pushing the elbows through. Constantly thinking about the elbows. Go ahead, give me another one. Push the elbows, elbows up, elbows up, elbows up, elbows up, elbows up. Even with the cues, he was still having a hard time keeping his elbows through. When he was thinking about his elbows, he started to sit back into his back squat. And you should think now again back to that piston. Sit straight down to the floor, straight down. Push the elbows through, elbows high, elbows high, elbows high. Keep pushing. Good, good, good. Give me 2 more. Chest up, elbows push. Keep pushing the elbows. Good. Keep pushing. 1 more. Sit straight down. Very good. Elbows need to make sure those elbows stay up nice and high. This can become very uncomfortable for them at the wrists, especially if they're not used to it. Athletes are going to complain that it bothers their wrists, hurts their wrists. Tell them it's just something they're going to have to get used to, okay? It's because there's lack of flexibility here, lack of flexibility in the triceps and the lats. Also, they need to have flexibility down at the lower limbs as well. Go ahead, squat down. They need to be able to dorsiflex. If they have any previous ankle injuries, good. That limits them. Front squatting is going to be very difficult. But be sure they also do not excessively dorsiflex. That weight needs to stay back still. The only difference is they're sitting down. The weight does not shift to the front, even though the knees still can cross the toes. So range of motion, flexibility, mobility will be key with the front squat. Those are things that you can work on through your warm-ups and your cool-downs to get them correct.